I also like Spirit Breaker a little bit more when I've got some sort of like agility core that I can just like I'm gonna anti carry you. You know, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
like sit on you the whole entire time.
Right. Hey, Navi's draft is looking so snowbally again. There's so much single target, low damage.
Global
Playing into
presence.
like mass team fight again, it's like gets vibes of like last game where they have to do so well in the laning stage and they can't have like that one team fight where they lose and then
Right.
all of a sudden they lose the whole map. They can't team fight again. It's like Storm IO, very single target. Spear Breaker, very single target. Silencer. Global doesn't do any damage, so like they're really low on damage right now.
Yep. The way I see Navi's lineup is that they have this like pseudo global like Storm, Spirit Breaker, and IO. And then I guess even Silencer, but like they want to be able to pick and pull you around the map, right? And not take like strict 5-on-5s. But part of the way of doing that is to be able to play like side lanes, aggressively push them in. And if you think about it, Kunkka, Bane, and Disruptor are all really good at being able to set up and like I caught that one hero that's trying to like split or something.
Right.
You know, mass TP in, take a team fight, or at least get a pick.
Let's be real too. Navi's just not good on playing side lanes either. Like it is a very weak play style for them.
Okay.
Like they're very good at running at you with all their heroes, right? Like they are not good at playing the map and playing on the side lanes and like outplaying you and picking you off one by one. They struggle a lot in that. So this lineup does not suit like what they want to do in my eyes.
It's not the first time they try this though. Someone like this, which is again in lineup that's above their execution grade per se.
So I think DK's a pretty decent response to this of like just kind of like brute force, like take your objectives.
Tanky hero, hard to gank.
Team fighter, hard to gank. It also still leaves their positions open, right? Because they can do off lane DK, mid Kunkka, safe lane Kunkka, mid Kunkka. So yeah, it's Navi are still gonna have to like really think hard about their bans.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely really flexible here.
Like the Ursa ban, you're talking about the lack of damage, right? The IO partner with Luna, not as much damage. With Ursa, a bit more bursty there. What are other IO partners that you can have here that...
They needed to do a lot of damage this game because Kunkka and DK are very tanky. Ursa was very good. What else could they pick here? Who has to pick out a phase here?
That'll be Navi.
That's Navi.
It's Navi's, okay,
Yep.
so they have to kind of pick blind here too. It'll probably just be like some generic Luna. Maybe a Terrorblade's okay too, actually.
Okay, yeah,
That's in the
Terrorblade I like
pool.
more.
They need a lot of damage. Something that can kill these, like, tanky strength heroes right now. Looking for... So, TB's pretty good.
I like the TV idea. Because if they don't ban Luna here, and Mike is of course aware of the Luna, so they have something prepared to counter that.
I'd be okay with a Morphling too. Just something that can continuously scale. Maybe get a Scotty this game. Just do a lot of damage.
Because they have to snowball, but they also have to eventually, because Kunkka's gonna win the lane regardless, right? That's the point of the Kunkka.
Probably, I don't think Spirit Breaker IO. And there is a world where it could go crazy and like do well in that lane, depending on the 17% bash chance there. But if it doesn't, I'm afraid. I don't think this hero does nearly enough damage to break through DK and Kunkka.
Does he scale though? At least
he does scale and he does decent damage, but I'm afraid that he's gonna like die in the fight and he's just gonna come back and die again. Like the supporting cast, like Wraith King normally just absorbs a lot of damage, right? He outputs a good amount, but not a high amount. So what damage is gonna be done while he's like frontlining?
Yeah, I would be much more okay with this if they had damage from their supports because, like, I think their idea is let Wraith King like kind of an anti-burst hero, but I don't think they're going to be able to win team fights because they lack damage from their supports, and now they've got the hard carry matchup that they're going to be losing out on with this Morphling last pick.
and they do run the Kunkka offlane in the end. The make water build, that's full popular these days. Very good against Wraithing because you put him out of position completely with a tidal wave, and kind of sucks to be him. He can't walk around with Torrent Storm going on. Tidal wave annoys him. Silencer's not very good against this build either. I mean, are you guys siding with Mind Games drafts for game 2?
I think this is a 2-0, but in order to prevent that, I think no one in general will have to like really go off in this game.
Agree with that, Fear?
Someone has to go off. The Spirit Breaker has to scale to the point where he's doing a lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage.
Okay. There's not much trust in my panel for Navi. We have been there before. Most of the time they are correct. Will they be correct once again? Or will they take game number 2 against Mind Games and force a game number 3? We're going to have to see. And for that, here's a cast of Lyrical lizZard for thee.
Thank you so much, Avo. Yes, indeed, lizZard. We're here for game number 2. You know, you kind of hate to see it if they go out in a 2-0, but I can see the path to that happening. Do you hold any more hope in your heart for Navi, or is it cold and brittle like those poor men on that couch?
It's not. It's cold around here. It's very cold. Like I'm keeping my hand on the battery all times before the game starts. But when it comes to the draft, I think they can make it work. Like this Wraith King right now, I share the sentiment, might not be the greatest damage dealer, but with the overcharge and with this Armlet Dezo build that you rush for, perhaps it's enough. You have Storm versus the Morphling. If he's not careful, he can get caught, he can be jumped on. You have the Silencer with global follow-up as well. Yeah. There are some nice things. Navi's global potential is also pretty high. Charge, relocate, Storm Spirit, global from Silencer, these are all like things that can get on top of you in a split second. If you're not Dragonite and Kunkka, I guess you're afraid, but Dragonite and Kunkka are probably, like the panel said, are gonna be tanky enough to survive through all of that.
Right, well, and that's the other thing that's gonna be interesting, right, is that I think Fear was talking about the fact that this isn't really Navi's bread and butter, the like trying to find pickoffs around the map and, you know, go on in and outmaneuver them. It's not what we've been seeing be, you know, successful. Granted, we haven't seen a ton of success from Navi this season at all. The one game that they won was against Empire, but regardless, when I'm looking at this Mind Games draft, you got an easy jump in, DK stun, who knows, maybe Morphling goes in an E-Blade or something, just starts blowing people up. Yo, there are a lot of tips happening. Are there storylines being told with this? What's going on?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe something in the lobby or something before. I didn't see anything in the chat. Yeah, Vitune steals the Bounty Rune.
Nice.
It's gonna be 3 for Navi, and obviously with that huge advantage of 40 gold each player, they will be taking game 2. We're going into game 3. Wrap it up.
Perfect. Silence, fool. Just call it
Wrap
now.
it up. Nope. Doesn't Storm do fine versus Dragonite on mid lane? I mean, later on, a DK with an instant stun, more or less, right, is dangerous, but no one should have a solid time on the mid lane farming.
Yeah, you would think so. Like, he's not going to be able to get punished super hard, but likewise, I don't think he's ever going to be able to force out FN.
That's true.
So,
what about the top lane, Io and Spirit Breaker? I think this lane is incredibly strong. I don't think that, like, Morphling and Disruptor, they're fine, but perhaps you can't kill the Morphling, but Disruptor, if you get charged, if you get that level 2 overcharge with the level 2 Greater Bash, a couple of procs, you're just gone. I think this is an incredibly strong lane on the off lane as well.
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because you were talking a little bit, just to go back up again to sort of what's going on top. We were sort of talking about Luna being a potential pickup for both teams, depending upon what they want to go for. And we've seen before the strength that you can have with the Disruptor Luna, instead opting to go for this Morph. And maybe some of this has to do with the IO, right? Like, they're just going to be able to out-regen almost no matter what happens in this lane, unless you go for, like, that all-in big blow-up play, which, you know, maybe we could see that happen. Maybe Slayer tries to jump onto Aloha Dance and they can blow up the little IO, but it might be a little tough.
Yeah, probably. The safest bet that you have is just to try and stack pull if you're Slayer, right? Keep it as passive as possible, because killing an IO, even though you have ways of getting on top of him with the Morphling, is probably, you know, problematic and might backfire. They have some
Speaking-
cache problems, no cursors. Dota, all right.
Speaking of problematic, that's not great.
you just-
I'm a little concerned.
It's like playing Counter-Strike without a scope, right? Like you just play without seeing the cursor. Like you can do it. Come on. They're professional players. What do they need that for?
Exactly. You've been playing. Get the Steam Deck out. That's the way to do it next. We'll see if they can make that happen. Do you speak any of what they're speaking right now?
Yeah, I speak some of what they're speaking, and they want to go play Monopoly until the problems are resolved.
Okay, cool. Why would you play Monopoly? That's like the worst game ever. I am very passionate about this. Do you like Monopoly the game?
I mean, I played it as a kid with my bro.
Don't do this, Lizard. Don't you betray me like this.
Dude, you're from US. You're supposed to be like some capitalist bro that loves Monopoly, like, and here I am, like.
Listen, capitalist is on the couch, okay? You gotta get your things right. get your situation right.
He's casts right now. He's no longer capitalist.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, dude. Monopoly is such a bad game. Listen, if they wanted to play some like Carcassonne, some Terraforming Mars, maybe. All right, now we're on board. But guys,
we're all boomers here. Don't you know that in Eastern Europe we get these games like 10 years
chess?
after you? Like, okay, chess I can get behind, sure.
Are you a chess player? You a big fan?
Yeah, I like it. I'm not like a great player, but I do like the game.
I used to play. I love chess. I played a lot growing up, but it's one of those games that like it feels like it's one of the best ways to tell somebody what Dota is that has no idea what Dota is. You just say 5v5 chess, kind of.
You know what I would say? 5v5 chess, but bullet.
Okay.
Like
yes.
Bullet, and then it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't have time to think, and you have to be on the move constantly.
I like this. General admins when tech loss. That's great. That's a classic. There are certain players I feel like that will like go in right at the start and be like, okay, you know, it's 1 second after the time. When do we get a tech victory?
Yeah, and there will be someone like Taiga or Insania saying, please guys, take away the penalty from them. We want it fair. And the admin will be like, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, that's good. I think the admins should be like it, but I think that there is a difference between like the players that will like immediately say it. And I don't think it's bad. It's just it gives you an insight into the player mentality a little bit, I think.
I mean, he was joking here with he was
really?
definitely he was joking
Okay,
with the
never
tech
mind.
loss. General just likes to, you know, they all know each other. They're more or less friends, I suppose. Depends, you know. A friend is
It's a strong word.
It's a strong word here, you know, like especially in Dota, especially in Eastern Europe. Like, it's kind of stretched perhaps a little bit, but
Yeah, we were talking about that. I think they're talking about it on the panel. Business associates. That's the expression. No friends.
yeah.
God, what am I doing? It's so mean.
No, you're. I think perhaps in Eastern Europe there's a bit more, in some teams at least, there's a bit more loyalty.
Really?
Somewhere else. Yeah, but not all of them. Navi, maybe not
God.
the best, might not be the best example. Some of these stacks at least might not be the best examples, but
Lizard
yeah.
bringing out the flamethrower early for the first Div 1 game of the day. This is good. I like that. I think that yeah, there's definitely some times where, you know, you can see sort of the business side of stuff rearing its ugly head a little bit, but then you got these other great stories, right? You know, you got the OG before when it's you guys together, power of friendship. You got team spirit, this bunch of young guys gathering together around like a veteran, you know, is sort of leading them through into battle, and it starts to feel a little bit more like, you know, homey and comfy.
yeah, the old Virtus Pro stack as well that played together for quite a while. So
Yeah.
you know, there are some teams that definitely did stick together for a long time, and eventually it's kind of hard to justify staying as a team if you don't have results, right? So
Well, right.
in the end, these players are making a living out of this, and I can completely understand people that are going straight for that. But as long as everyone is honest and keeping everything, keeping their hand on the table, yeah.
Well, I think that the other thing to talk about is like how important it can be to like individual team success to like foster an environment where you trust each other and to foster an environment where like mistakes don't mean that the team is over, right? Because then it
Yeah.
allows a way for people to like sort of grow and build together. It's all nice and cuddly again.
I have a somewhat interesting personal story here. So I was for a little while captaining a team, and like literally the other 3 players wanted to kick our position 1 carry whatever out, right?
Are we
But I
going
was
to be able
standing-
to deduce whose this is via your
I-
team
I
list?
I mean, I had some different stacks, so I hope you won't be. But I defended this guy, and I said, look, we have to improve as a team. Kicking a player out after playing for a couple of months doesn't make sense. On his heroes, he's good, so let's find a way to pick those heroes, make things work, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, like a month after the team disbands, whatever reasons, and that one player is like, yo guys, the one that everyone wanted kick, he was like, yo guys, I would like to continue with all of you, but perhaps not with lizZard, he's pressuring me. I'm like, what? Like what?
Oh, that's great. I love it.
There's just all these teams, there tends to be a ton of drama between players as well. Especially when you're me and you're playing into teams that tend to lose a lot.
Oh, no.
It doesn't help.
I think that it sounds really common. Did this player know that you had stood up for them? Were they aware?
Sorry, what? I was reading the.
Oh, no problem.
No, because it was like everyone is being a little bit. I don't know how to put it. Sneaky there, right? Like
right. Talking behind whispered hands.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
I got it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell a player you want to kick him in his face and then play with him a tournament, right? That doesn't solve things as well.
I mean,
it's really helpful.
Some people do it. I don't know how they do it, but some people I think do it. Well, we have talked a lot about the intricacies of these different teams and dynamics and all that stuff, but we also got some new info from the admins. I can't read what they were saying fully, but there's only a couple minutes left to pause time. So maybe they just unpause at that point. Is that what's going to happen? And then they play without a cursor?
Yeah, they're still saying that he still doesn't have a cursor in the game. That's what they're.
Dude, if he wins without playing without a cursor, that's top tier story. Also, really embarrassing for Navi if that happens.
Man, like imagine the flex afterwards. I won versus you without a cursor. At this point, just give me a gamepad, like I don't need mouse. They added that support, right? I don't need mouse and keyboard any longer.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
be playing on what was it? The Jerax was playing the thing that he was playing.
The Steam controller or whatever it is.
No, I think he was playing other game, not Dota, but he was playing it with a pen or something like the pointer thing.
Oh, right, the stylus. I think that's what it's called.
He was pretty alright. Like, just give me that, I'll play Dota with it. When's that coming to Dota? By the way, now that we have gamepad, can we actually play the game with the pen?
Maybe if you want to. If that's you're gonna revitalize the career. I'd be down for that.
I don't think there's hope for me, but
I will say that there was one like BTS event that went on, which was like a qualifier. I think it was like Manila Major or something like that qualifiers. And Ken Chen had a segment where he played an entire game of Dota as Spirit Breaker on the Steam controller, and I think he won. It was crazy. Navi, they're saying we put our pause. It's okay, we wait. All right, so we might have some more time to fill. Wonderful.
Yeah, he just said that they're changing the computers, so they're asking for a couple of extra minutes.
Wow, changing computers over.
And VTune is about to write something interesting, I guess.
Okay. Something interesting.
Let me see where this goes, because right now it's looking a bit sus.
Okay.
It's stupid. It's just a stupid pun on Russian. It took me a while to understand what he's saying.
Okay.
So,
You want to let us know the pun? Puns don't translate well. That's one problem.
Yeah. So my computer, you know, the word moi.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you pronounce it on Russian moi, which means to
Moi.
wash. Yeah. And he's like, you know, guys, my PC is dirty, and I have a problem. When I press my computer, it doesn't clean it. Moi, clean, to clean.
It's terrible. V-Tune, that's awful. Get better jokes.
Wait, he has another one.
Oh, I can't wait.
He has yeah, me too.
I mean, that's the problem with puns, right? Is that like they're supposed to hit immediately, you know? You're supposed to like get them, and then there's no like wait. If you have to explain a joke, it's already bad, but then explaining puns is like really bad, you know? It's like it's a next level bad. All right, so what's this next
level
one?
I think my Russian can only take me so far. This is a bit
It's the next level.
I can translate it, but I don't understand the pun. Maybe I'm just stupid. Like,
oh no.
There's a I think it's also something language related, you know,
Okay.
but I can kind of speak Russian when I go into a store and order something, or with friends talking about Dota, but
Right.
sometimes I lose some meaning in sentences. So there's a bear in the forest, and he sees that there's a burning car, right, in the forest.
Okay.
So he sits in it and he burns.
And he says only you can prevent forest fires. That's not what he says. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Was that it?
That's it. I don't know.
So
I think.
Wait, is that really the joke? Hold on.
You know, I think this joke is actually a little bit on not PC side. So let's leave it.
All right, we'll leave that one alone. I will say that there's Smokey the Bear, which was like the forestry ranger in the U.S. that was like aimed at trying to prevent forest fires. I got a pun for you. Ready for this one?
I'm not ready for any more puns, man.
Here we go. Why did Adele cross the road?
Why did who cross?
Adele.
Come on. It's like, come on.
Say hello from the other side. Yeah, that's good, right? That's good. That's a great one.
I didn't listen. I didn't want to be exposed any longer.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Definitely.
I know Smokey the Bear, by the way. The only reason
You
I
do?
know about him. Yeah, I know about him because there was this custom game in Warcraft called I'm not sure what it was. It was something like tree tag, in which you run away and make your little bases inside forests, inside trees, and then there's 4 players that are supposed to destroy the forests, you know, and catch you. But every now and then Smokey the Bear fucking shows up and slaps them because they're destroying the woods, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I know Smokey the Bear. But
only you can prevent forest fires. That this is great. It was like these commercials that came on all the time. Smokey the Bear lore. Unbelievable. Man, we've still got so they said 6 minutes left of pause time. I'm not sure if that was true or not. Yeah, that was a couple minutes ago though. So they might be going in, and I guess I'm wondering if like Mind Games are on a boot camp together. Like, are they building the PC? What's happening? I'm very unsure.
They just purchased all the parts. The GPU is a little bit expensive at the moment because of all the miners and whatnot, you know, so they're trying to figure out where to get that, to set it all up, and they have a minute left, so maybe they'll be able to finish it.
Maybe there's a chance. The thing that I'm wondering though is that if they don't finish it in time, wouldn't you just want like the DK to go back to the old computer and play without the cursor thing? I don't know. But so this is why I'm wondering if they're on boot camp. Because like if they're on boot camp, you can pull one PC from one room to the other room and try and reset it up, and then like, all right, we're all good to go. If you're not, then like, and you had to drive somewhere, that's pretty bad.
Bignam is a bit angry because the admins say it's the last minute for you, and then Bignam is like, "But you said we have 6 minutes a minute ago."
Ah, I see.
So someone's clock isn't working very well. Someone's watch is a
Oh,
bit
10
off.
seconds. All right, are they going to unpause, though? That's the big question here. We might have to be ready to go back into the game. We'll see if they do or not. I think it's been more than 10 seconds, and they haven't unpaused, so...
It's very slow, 10 seconds. It's 10...
Yeah.
9... And
Oh, wait.
he's actually reconnected. We have a game.
Let's go.
Maybe.
All right, so the only problem is there's no way for us to know if he has a cursor or not.
He has it now, but he needs to set up his mouse. Like, it doesn't work yet. Like, he needs to...
No.
I guess he doesn't have the same, DPI settings.
Gives him a tip right when he comes back. Yeah.
Unpause it! Exclamation mark from the admins.
I like the
They're,
exclamation mark. That's good.
Can't the admin unpause the game? Can
I'm
you?
pretty sure. Did they change that? Dude, he's so mad. Oh no. Oh god, what's gonna happen? If they don't unpause it, what happens? Dude, they're not unpause it. Wait.
Well, look. If so, Navi paused for Team Unique, right? For Team Mind Games.
Okay.
And because Navi paused and they're not unpausing, they get tech loss.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be.
I'm just making this shit up. I have no idea, but
there's no way that happens.
there's-
I'm looking right now in the chat to see if we get anything from them with regards to what's going on. If there's some type of anger happening, it doesn't look like it.
Admin says there's 15 seconds left
Wait,
now.
what?
You can't. This isn't like this guy's gonna be a terrible parent. This isn't how you do it. Like,
Why you gotta blame him like that? What's going on?
You can't go back. Like if you threaten with something, like you need to actually do it because they're never gonna take you seriously any longer. Like this
That's
admin
fair.
just lost all control. It's done for him.
Man, you just broken spirit. Well, we are back into the game now, and I mean, at the very least, we're only like 40 seconds in. It's one of those things where you'd rather have something like this happen at the beginning of the game rather than like, right before the pivotal Roche fight or something.
Yeah, it didn't really mess up their whole game plan, I hope. But it's always hard. Like, I always hate these pauses. It's, in pro games, like, you're thinking about so many things, about all your rotations. You're thinking 2-3 minutes ahead, right? And when a pause like this happens, your mind kind of goes elsewhere. And
It goes to puns.
yeah, it goes to puns, exactly. Those puns were so bad, I'm surprised players are still in the lobby.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, maybe that's a strat, though. You can also put so many puns together that, it gets the other team to leave. And then you're good to go.
So,
we should
yeah.
probably stop talking about puns now and start talking about the game a little bit more, because our brains went elsewhere also.
Yeah, indeed they did. What are you looking at? Where are we now? We have some...
I think that so far, seeing DK do pretty well mid. 12-0 versus 9-0. I guess this is just again the farm fest.
I suppose, yeah, it will be. I expected no one to do all right. I guess he is getting all these 3 creeps and it will even out. Yeah. Still, though, there's a full wave going for FN. Full farm fest. Even a rotation from Spirit Breaker shouldn't be enough to kill off FN. Which is interesting. He didn't go for the Bracer build, right?
Yeah, going instead, he went 3 branches and ate one of them, I think, and straight into the bottle. I guess this is just because there's so many resources, like we've been talking about mid.
Aloha dance, top lane.
A chance.
That's a nice charge.
Ooh, and gets first blood. Jesu makes it work. So we said that this was like maybe possible, but we didn't think they'd find an opening like that. Nice play.
Yeah, I'm surprised, really. I actually think that it's difficult for a Wisp to die in that lane. It's dangerous, and you need to understand that you're playing into this Morphling that can always get on top of you. But I still thought that, yeah, Aloha Dance is a skilled Wisp player. It happens. You make an aggressive move, you get punished for it.
True enough. not the end of the world either to lose a hero like that this early on, but it does give you know, a nice little start to Mind Games, who might not otherwise have been thinking that they would have a, you know, a solid top lane.
I have to say that I actually like Navi's draft. Like, looking at it, even though, yeah, there's not a lot of damage and whatnot, they might have a problem with that. And they're not favorites, obviously, after that first game. I think they have a very decent shot at taking this game.
Okay.
Let's see, Slayer, they're going on him. They just have to be careful for this turn on Io. That's it.
In the meantime, Pedushara finds the kill onto Wraith King bottom. That is not great, but showing the power of level 3.
Yeah, what did I say? Navi has a good shot. I take that back.
Yeah. Yeah, that one hurts. That's 2 kills pretty quickly. Charge up top.
Yeah.
Damage on to Slayer, and they back away. Not going to be able to get any punish there too significantly. Still a no regen actually in this lane. That's a little bit scary for Mind Games. They just used the salve on Slayer.
Yeah, you're just constantly being hit, right? And Navi, they're not really wasting many resources. You have the Spirit Breaker with 6 armor, a Bracer, and he's just hitting you. With an Overcharge, you don't necessarily need to use any mana. They're going on Slayer.
Trying to get some damage into him. Finds a bash. Looking for another. Not going to get it, though. That kinetic field doing the job. And 7 Jesu throws out the adaptive strike, but still was a lot switching over to strength form, and that stops it from being enough damage to kill off Aloha Dance. So they're going to pull this wave through most likely, and that means another wave farming under the tower for the Morph lane.
Yeah, he could have waveformed right on the Wisp, but he didn't want to because of charge possibility. Like, you go in, he charges you, you don't finish off the Wisp because he has a Salve, and then you fall afterwards. Still, you pretty see how this lane on top lane goes. They try to go on Disruptor, meanwhile Disruptor and Morphling try to go on Io. And it's gonna be like that all the time.
Right. There is some rotation towards mid. Bignum is playing here. Storm had to go all the way back home, but this is gonna set up for some pretty decent pressure onto the tier 1 tower. With F1 starting to hit it with the ulti form going, and Pedushara hasn't really been punished on bottom. Still farming pretty freely through the way.
Yeah, but you should know about this, right? If you're Navi, you know that Bane is missing from bottom lane. And here we go.
Pull in afterwards. They got Nightmare already, but FN trying to live through it. Slayer, kinetic field down. Big zip finds the finish.
And the perfect glimpse to help out no one, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Did you see the damage? Like, Io overcharge with Storm and with Spirit Breaker is spooky. Like, that thing, you should not underestimate it.
Yeah, very easy kill potential. And not often that we see that big rotation mid, but with Storm having a full mana pool, they make the call and able to get a quick punish onto FN.
Yep. Keep in mind that FN, like, I was talking about the damage that they're bringing. Top lane, Slither.
Again, wanted to find him, but another kinetic field keeps him alive. 7 Jesu turns onto Aloha Dance. 1 bash, waveform through, down very low. Adaptive strike won't be enough. We'll back out now.
They didn't. They actually moved slightly away, solo bottom lane.
Pedushara chasing, Bignum there too. Hiding in the trees, gets the vision, and Bignum's just gonna play cleanup.
And just slowly takes him down.
That was boat used.
But I wanted to say that they had that extra damage on the DK also because of his item build. No Bracer, no Soul Ring, right? So he's not as tanky as he usually is. He's going straight into the armlet. This is something that we've seen OG do, right? I think it was BZM that did the instant armlet build too. It's solid.
Yeah, seems pretty good. Allows him to, you know, survive through a lot more of the burst, and there's kind of like a damage cap, particularly early on, coming from Navi. They don't have that much if they're not bringing like cores to it.
There's an armlet now completed on Wraith King. A dragon form again used mid, and this should be a rotation. Charge on the disruptor.
Okay. There's a glimpse, and Aloha Dance stuck around. Uh-oh. Where you going, buddy? That's going to be a quick and easy one. So a nice pickup there.
That was so perfect. And Dragonite as well with that form can take some stacks. Meanwhile, Bignam taking just taking some experience on the mid lane. They're getting a lot on mind games from these couple of moves.
Yeah, Bignam is level 5.5 at 8.5 minutes. That is really nice. Like, if Bane can get up to a decent start here, this is going to look really solid for them. And in the meantime, you see Pedushara, like, there's so much space being made, and he's still getting a ton of farm. Level 7 now, trying to farm up the jungle and the creep camps as well. Has boat available. Do they want to try and do something on a V-Tune?
Yeah, I'm surprised how much they're getting out of the map. Like, you expect them to be doing fine, but this is actually amazing. Stacks. No one.
No one.
Zips in.
Oh, Pedushara. I don't know if he knew. They got the X, though. Looking for it. They got the pullback afterwards if they want it. Stun comes out, and Pedushara in some trouble. Boat's coming in. Aloha Dance able to dodge away from that boat. Still Rum keeping alive. This Kunkka also has the regen coming in from the Chip Vest. Tries to dodge away. The charge comes through afterwards. Pedushara will die, but they get the glimpse into the Fiend's Grip. Got level 6 on the Bane, but it's not enough. Pushed down to the low ground. Brain Sap comes out. They take down Slayer. Now Sevajesu able to look for a kill, but not find it. No one played that perfectly.
Yeah, can someone take that Keen Optic, please? It's on the ground.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Skellies are farming it, so maybe Storm will. Oh no, Petushara pings it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this should be going Mind Games' way. It's actually Storm's item. Like, it dropped for him. But you see the power now of Navi's draft. Like, even though it's in the triangle, all of their heroes got there faster than all of Mind Games'. You have the charge, and everyone else just connected so easily with the Storm, Ball, Lightning.
Well, and this is before they have Relocate online as well, which is going to add that other extra wrinkle to things. So yeah, interesting stuff. Pedushara, I like the build a lot out of the Kunkka. The double bracer phase, now going in for Spirit Vessel. But obviously it's, you know, still some danger coming in right there. They're going to pop Dragon Form again for FN. And with the chase down, maybe? Pedushara going to find solo? He's looking.
I think so. Level 2 X marks. He has phases now. He should. Oh no, he actually backs out.
Calls it off.
But they are taking mid tier 1, which is great for Mind Games. While tier 1 mid is falling, at the bottom lane Morphling is free farming too. They don't have grip to actually prevent any of... sorry, not grip, global to prevent any of that happening. Now with the global, you can perhaps make a relocate play on the Morphling with the Spirit Breaker charge. I think that's perhaps an option.
Yeah, it is a little scary with the potential to get a Fiend's Grip afterwards. Pedushara. Shown. Didn't get off the boat yet. Throws it a bit late, and... well, we'll have the rum, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. 4 heroes down bottom in the meantime. Keeping this catapult alive.
They are, but they still have global. Solo has to be careful. He's the only one that shouldn't get caught here.
Slayer has 3 points in glimpse as well as 2.
Hey, no one took the optic!
Dude, it's right there on the ground. Go get the optic. They're not getting it.
Morphling took it.
Oh, man.
Like, it's funny because Kunkka pinged it out earlier, right? Like, he pinged it a few minutes ago, but Morphling just passed it. He didn't really care. He fixed this mistake, though. I'm expecting Navi to make a move with global and relocate very soon. They have the charge to initiate with.
Yeah, there's some great potential here. And there it is. Nope, that's creeps.
That's a bait. That's a bait right there.
Yeah, behind is Slayer, but obviously can't save if the global comes out. But Sevajesu, he's playing at pretty high HP, actually. Playing at 1800. He also knows that potential danger.
Yeah, he's playing it super carefully all the time. Like, I thought that they would go on him when he was hitting the tier 1 tower when they killed Kunkka, and even then he was sitting on like 1500 HP.
Right.
So he knows, he understands. You know, if I see a thing coming, these players probably noticed it like 5 minutes ago or something, so... Most of the time, at least. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do.
I mean, they didn't notice the keen optics. That's all I'm saying, lizZard. You saw that one. But yeah.
That's true. That's true. I should definitely replace one of them. And run around, pick up neutral items. That should be my job.
Get on the horn.
There are 2 vessels being completed. One on Kunkka in like 500 gold, the other on Spirit Breaker in 50. And both of them are pretty big deal. You're playing versus Morphling and versus Io.
Yeah.
They can come in handy to take down these big targets, even like DK and Kunkka.
Smoke on smoke action, but FN and Bignum are heading south while No One, Aloha Dance, and Solo are going up to the north. Who will they find? Pedushara's mid, and again, it's not an easy kill. Actually Xing himself just to make sure that he's not put in a dangerous position.
Yep. But he is going straight back into it, right?
Hello, hello. Jumps in, global out. In trouble. Will he fall quickly enough? Stick charges afterwards. They pop the static storm. Able to connect. Good amount of damage there onto No One. The grip afterwards onto Io. Things getting a little bit funky, so they'll get 1 kill in exchange for Pedushara. But that's the only one.
There was no electric vortex on No One, and because of that they couldn't cancel the grip, so they abandoned the IO. I feel like if there was I feel like if there was control they could even save their Wisp there.
Yeah.
But they use the global, they take down Kunkka, they don't take an objective off of that. If you're mind games, like, yeah, you're sad for losing the Kunkka, but it's not that bad.
Got strength form off. Seven Jesu gets away.
And instant glimpse on Storm Spirit. Go back home, sir.
Yeah, get out of here. They think that the ward is up on the high ground, but it's not. It's down here low ground. I think that they pinged right about where it was. So 6-6, less than 1,000 gold separating these two teams. And this is the time with no global available. They could think about doing something on mind games, but I guess likewise, it's sort of weird. A jump. They find Bignum. Got him in trouble. Got him dead. Now afterwards, Slayer also in some trouble. They pull the X back. Miss on the Torrent. General, they'll get hit there by the stun. The boat coming in afterwards and actually pushes him out of range of the boat. So they're not killing anybody. Mind games have to get the hell out of here as the chase down comes. They're going to find the Kunkka, kill him too. Oh, Navi. They came to play in game number 2.
Straight onto the tier 1. There's that Desolator and Armlet that we talked about on Raid King. General is just wreaking havoc together with Storm to the backlines. They might counter kill Solo here though.
Yeah, Solo's going down low. They got the strength form off again. Even Jesu's been playing pretty well, but eventually going to get killed off there in spite of the silence. Aloha Dance also dies. They run back in, but then lose several, and FN Arma Toggle, not enough. General was there. Had the charge coming off cooldown at the last second.
Yeah, you can argue that they're making some slight mistakes from mind games, going for these kills when not everyone is alive. But you're trying to prevent them from taking your tier 1 tower, and you see the silencer, you're thinking, okay, at least I can kill him. But Navi, they just collapse way too fast. These heroes, once Vitune gets a Blink Dagger, become... like, the aggressive potential on them is just way too high. I'm afraid for these two supports of mind control, to be honest. Mind games, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel particularly inspiring when they just can jump on you and there's no answer afterwards. And that's, I guess, the power of global and Solo having just like such a good answer. And you can see Slayer queuing immediately into the Yule Scepter. You've got Bane, who is actually going for an Aether Lens, so Bignum's gonna have to play a little bit further back most likely, but it's Roche right now. That's the call for Navi. They do scan it in the pit. They know that this is going on, but no attempt to control and push in to fight. Just instead, farm up, get these items.
Slayer charged up, relocate is available. Storm has Aegis. This is probably that disruptor. See.
Glimpse, but the follow-up, wait a minute. Orchid.
Nice place.
Okay. That's enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, so it ended up being relocate for Static Storm, right? Who's winning that exchange? I would say kinda even. Maybe a bit more beneficial for Navi, as they don't have to worry about static storm now and they can take a tower.
Right. At least there won't be that like danger of somebody getting blown up on the map for mind games, but will they be able to defend a tower? Well, mind games still in some trouble. Bignum is there, Nightmare save, looking for it, but afterwards gonna get the global out. So they managed to kill FN and now trying to chase down Bignum as well. No static storm determined, no nothing. Can't take that fight.
You're big, you're difficult to kill somewhat, but you cannot prevent Navi from reaching these backline. Slayer, there's the glimpse, won't help you a lot, sir. He should be falling here as well. And this is just a disaster now for mind games. You need to slow the game somehow and get this Morphling online. But how do you slow a game down when you're playing versus Storm, IO, Spirit Breaker? Like,
right. Well, and particularly because, like, you know, that was the timing right there where, you know, Dragon Knight is about to be back alive again. He's got Blink, he's got Armlet. The global is down. It feels like maybe there's some potential for them to make a move at this point, but they're still fighting into that Aegis. So it's like you want to make plays when global's down, but it's hard to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that there's a damage problem now happening from the other side, from mind games. They're just waiting for the Morphling who's going into a Linken's. They are smoked up though. If they find the right targets, perhaps an IO.
Gonna connect, jump right to start. Stack Storm though onto 2. Bignum dead. Do they have anything else left in the tank? Trying to kill off the Storm, but IO not able to get him brought down. Storm lives through it. Devastating. Oh, and Slayer's gonna fall. They're all going down. It looks good to jump a Storm, but dude still got the Aegis. It wouldn't have mattered.
He's got an Aegis and he's got Aloha Dance as well behind him.
Yeah.
And they kind of played that well, right? Like they glimpsed Aloha Dance so he can't relocate Storm out. But even if you glimpse him, he already used full Holy Locket on the Storm. He buys him just enough time to continue fighting and eliminating these heroes. I'm at a loss for mind games at this point. I'm really not sure what their game plan is. They're trying to kill the Spirit Breaker bot. They do have grip, and there's no relocate, but
oh. Yeah, I think I know what their plan is. Enter, GG, enter. That's kind of what it's feeling like right now, my man.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling like that. Because when you click on all of these heroes, and when you see the items that they're buying, they're kind of these items that allow them to stay alive. They aren't items that help them dish out enough damage to kill targets that are being killed by an IO. Linken's on Morphling, BKB on Dragon Knight, Kunkka queuing up Yules.
Right. Yeah, it hurts. Now, if there is like, well, actually, I was gonna say if there's one good thing, it's that Wraithking doesn't have BKB, but he's actually pretty close to finishing BKB also. So that's scary. And no one, a minute left on this Aegis as well. You know, one thing that is kind of cool that, you know, you can kind of take advantage of with this countdown timer on the Aegis is the, like, super ridiculously long zip with the Aegis regen.
Charge.
And looking for a chase down. Cancels it.
Top lane. Morphling. He's got Manta.
Yeah, and the long duration stun. Meanwhile, Slayer was trying to get there to help. Ain't gonna happen. No one still chasing. They got their vision. You ain't going nowhere, Seven Jesu. The rundown will occur. He's done.
Solo a little bit angry that he wasn't close enough for the bonus int, but the rest of the team pretty satisfied. There's another charge happening towards bottom lane. Actually not on the Kunkka, but on the creep, so he cancels it. There's a full Aghanims completed on Spirit Breaker. Like, how was your day? How was your day, Lyrical? How was the sleep? I heard your dog woke you up jumping on top of your bed while all wet from the rain.
That is true. It's better than mind games in this one though. But they won game number 1, so all is not lost. Yeah, it's looking rough for these dudes. God,
BKB on Storm. He jumps in.
Silence, stun, in some trouble. Oh, they caught him. Get out of there. We're tidal waving. lizZard,
Nice.
that's my favorite spell right now in Dota.
Is it?
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Just push your problems away, is that it?
Yeah. Just, you know, how can they come after you if they're tidal waved out? Water is the strongest element.
Is it? I guess so, yeah.
Maybe, probably
sure.
not.
I mean, it does cut through rock if aimed at it for long enough, so, you know.
That's true. It's a fair point. This is where we're at now. Morphling, you would think then, is like, you know, the strongest here. They've got Tidal Wave, they got Morph, all the water in the world, but Navi do not care. They're monsters.
Mind game, they're in a position in which they need to smoke up to get their Morphling somewhere where he can farm. That's literally what the smoke was. They got into this triangle, they're stacking it even because they can't get out of it. Like, this is where you're at, and this is the only farm that you're gonna find.
He's building a Lotus Orb.
No, it's Lincoln's. It was a
Oh,
misclick
sorry.
of some sort. No, he just misclicked it.
Got it.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, what the hell is that? That's really weird. But yeah, that makes sense that he's doing that one. Well, they have a little bit of space for the Morph to farm. They've got wards all around this area. And can try
Jump
and...
mid.
Ooh, yeah. Kunkka dead. Fedushara dead. No one godlike. This opening of Io Storm has looked quite good for them. Oh. Cancels TP. No one thought about going back to defend. But instead, just going to walk in and kill off Bignum. Absolute food this game. No one's eating good.
Straight into the tier 3. Dragonite has already used this form. He has 50% left remaining, but he doesn't have a BKB. So can you actually use this? He might try. There's a buyback on Kunkka.
Walks away. The silence came out, but this is a full set of racks here. And V-Tune gonna have to do some armlet toggling, but it is not really that much of a concern. And if they wanted to, you can go for more. I don't think that they're gonna be able to mount the defense, but they're gonna back out.
I think they're catching Morphling. Relocate.
Wait for
He's
him,
in vision.
but got him. In trouble from downtown. No one comes all the way in. The pull is there, and Sevajesu, he gets caught and punished for his sins. And guess what? Guess who's home? It's good old Roche. Got an instant spawn there for Navi, tied up in a bow.
Straight. They go into it. Can you contest this on the side of Mind Games? Not a chance in the world. You have to wait for the Morphling, you have to wait for his Linkens. Well, this will be a free shard. Is there anyone that needs it? There's a bunch of them that can actually take it.
I like Io Shard.
Yeah, the stun is pretty neat. Maybe V-Tune will greed out and take it, but yeah, I like the IO one as well. I actually like the silencer one when you're a core, but they give it to IO.
Yeah. I think particularly the way that they've been playing where like no one zips in and then Aloha Dance follows. Super deadly. I wonder if he's going to go for an Ag.
Same with the Spirit Breaker as well. What, Ags on IO?
Or on Storm, sorry. But I think he's going for Bloodstone.
Yeah, the Bloodstone is nice as well. There's full Shadow Blade now completed on V-Tune. Now he's going into the Silver Edge. He has that level 20, 25% cleave talent, so at this point, Bignum is dead. And V-Tune is completely fine with even farming in this game. He doesn't have to... They don't truly have to end this, because he's going to get very big very fast.
Well...
Morphling.
Yeah, they got Global if they want to use it, but back out. V-Tune, they're under vision. They spot him. Manta. Stun is there. Global afterwards. Already used, in some trouble. Trying to keep him alive. Got stunned by the IO. Static Storm down, but the BKB comes afterwards, and they're going to blow up the Morphlane. Now turn to FN, who does pop the BKB. Torrent connects now onto 2. As they are looking for the backlines. V-Tune finds Petishara. Dude is in a hell of a lot of trouble. Tidal Wave won't save you now. Godlike Stree and heads towards those tier 3 towers bottom. You know, lizZard, I'm curious your perspective on this. Teams taking their time to end it or trying to like emotionally break the other team? What do you like more?
I think it's just discipline. Teams, they don't see everything that we do, so it's a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit more difficult for them to assess when the game is completely free.
Well, I agree. I agree in this one, but what do you think of the idea of a team just let them stay in and then just kept doing it to like and set up for game 3 better? Do you like that strat or no?
I guess it depends who you're playing against, right?
Right.
Like some players get super tilted. Some players, if you tilt, they play even better. So you have to tread carefully there.
Interesting. Tread carefully. I like that. I guess that's also has to do a lot with like what is the history between the players and all that other stuff too.
Yeah, and all these things sound kind of boomerish to me. You need some new stuff like dropping mantles in front of the fountains and whatnot. You know, step up the flame game.
Okay, I'm with you. That's fair. I always was a big fan of the like if somebody dies, you tip his teammate, try and get them to like start fighting amongst themselves. That's the real way to do it.
Divide and conquer. I see.
Yeah. But Ashara thought about going in. The pullback there. Morphling now goes for a return. X, stun, follow. They got relocate though. Gonna pull him out. Perfectly fine general. Long duration stun, but then the zip from downtown with the global. No one. Taking some good damage here from the Morph, but again, the BKB lasts long enough. Solo get heals up by the mech. It's going to be enough to find 1 kill. With the grip afterwards, they've killed 2. They bought back on the Disruptor, will have glimpse available and catches them. So that's the pull now onto Io. Lohadan's trying to TP out. That ain't gonna work. Still, they haven't taken down the Storm. This guy's still got Aegis. They're just trying to jog away.
He's charging back in. I'm not sure this is amazing for Navi.
Good tidal wave. V-Tune. Oh, he's down so low, but he gets the Spirit Vessel. Trying to bring it down a little bit of extra damage. The glimpse. Do they have enough for the kill? He's not quite going to die to it. Petashara trying to do whatever damage he can. No one. Down low. Stunned again. 50 seconds left on the Aegis, but they burn through it. And then the walk forward hit as they will kill off the Bane, Disruptor, and turn their sights for the towers.
Now they still have that second life on the Raid King. Only 1 on Storm, but I think 1 is more than enough. Spirit Breakers just chilling in the back in case anyone tries to engage.
Oh, Shadow Amulet won't save you here. No such luck. They do bring down the Morphling once, or rather the Wraith King once, but Morphling looking like he's in some trouble as well. Charge through onto the creeps, kills the Morph, buyback from the Morph. Good blink away, but Navi taking care of business. GG is finally going to get called, and we're going to a game 3.
Feels good for Navi. They were the ones waiting. They were the ones giving that extra pause time, so feels good for them to be rewarded.
All right.
In the end,
I forgot we had that long pause at the start.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the game just kind of fell out of control for mind games. Sometimes you have this draft that looks solid on paper, and as 5, if they're moving in cohesion, it looks solid, right? Every play should be kind of safe for them. But once you start making one mistake here, another there, you get picked off left, right, and center by the IO, by the charge, by the Storm Spirit. You do not enjoy playing these games as 2 supports such as Disruptor and Bane. Like, it's just so easy for them to feed, and feed they did. But yeah, 1-1, still have a chance.
Well, and I think that it takes 2 to tango, and it takes at least 1 to eat what is fed to them, and no one definitely was eaten in that game. 15-0 and 16, no deaths. V-Tune only died 1 time. The core is absolutely slaying it in that game from Navi. But for now, at least, we're going to head a quick break, and we get back. The panel is going to break down all the action. We'll see you then.